Now available in paperback. Those who refuse the gift of eternal life are condemned to wander in the darkness of eternal night. Get your copy of Eternal Night at online booksellers today. Prince Harry says his marriage to Meghan Markle has made him aware of the unconscious racism towards black people, and now he wants us to join him in the fight against racism. Now, I have to say this to Prince Harry: I don't need to join you in your fight against racism because I've been in that fight ever since the day I was born on September 9th in 1973. Now, your Prince Harry has become aware of this racism, and the reason why he's become aware of this racism is because he wound up breaking the rules of white supremacy. Now, your Prince Harry doesn't really understand where white supremacy came from, and he doesn't understand how he's related to the first family of white supremacy, because white supremacy started in England, and his royal family was the first family of white supremacy. So that racism that has been going on throughout the world, that started with that royal family he was descended from, and that culture was passed down from generation to generation for centuries until it practically became a religion bigger than all of the religions in the world. So your Prince Harry, he's been completely clueless about the whole concept of racism, and he's completely clueless about the concept of white supremacy, and he's just starting to figure out, oh, there's unconscious racism towards black people, and the only reason why he's figuring out that there's unconscious racism towards black people is because he married your Meghan Markle, and now white supremacy, the system of white supremacy, is punishing him for going out and violating the unwritten social rules of white supremacy. Because the only reason why your Prince Harry is out here right now is because he decided to defy the rulers of the white supremacist system. He followed the Duchess of Ratchetness, Meghan Markle, talking about how he was going to make it out on his own, and he walked away from the shielded and privileged white supremacist world of Buckingham Palace into the real world. And as he entered the real world, he started to see what the real world, how the real world was for those white men who broke the rule of white supremacy as related to marriage. Because when you have a white man who goes out here and openly defies white supremacists by marrying a black woman or a biracial black woman and tries to elevate her to the same social status as a white woman, what your white supremacist system does is punish that white man by stripping him of certain privileges and making it where he cannot participate in social circles. So what's happening to Prince Harry is he's seeing the unconscious racism that happens to black people, and he's also seeing the only reason why he's seeing that unconscious racism is because he has been stripped of many of the privileges that white supremacy granted him, such as shielding him from seeing how the world works for black people. But now he's starting to see that world because those white people are cutting him out of social circles, and now he's seeing the unconscious racism that these white people have towards black people because he's had his white privilege card revoked, and now he has to experience that racism and that social ostracization that black people experience every day. And that's one of the things that has opened his eyes regarding racism. He's seeing the world as it truly is, because outside of the royal palace, the world has always been racist and white supremacist. But what your Prince Harry hasn't connected the dot on, as a member of the first family of white supremacy, is that his family was the one who established this religion and taught this religion all over the world when it went out here and colonized places like Africa, places like India, and went over here in the United States. It created this culture, and this culture was created by the crown that he was a part of. And that's where your Prince Harry starts to contradict himself, because he's saying, oh, we need to join against the fight against racism. But here's a critical question for Prince Harry. Are you prepared to fight against your own family? Because it was your family and the crown that created the white supremacy that led to the racism that you're encountering right now. Because if you really want to fight against racism, you're going to have to call out those members of the crown, those descendants of the crown who created this system and continue to reap benefits from that system. Because if you're going to sit there and talk about, oh, we need to fight against racism, then we need to also call out the ultimate racist at the top of the food chain. And again, I don't think Prince Harry has the stones to go out here and challenge the royal family, who are the top of the food chain of white supremacy. And I really don't think that your Prince Harry really has started to really learn about this unconscious racism, because again, this unconscious racism that he is starting to experience, the roots of it start in white supremacy and the lie of white supremacy, which teaches us that whites are superior, whites are better, whites deserve the very best, and whites have a right to be number one, and that your white people have the right to treat anybody the way that they want to do. He's just experiencing the so-called unconscious racism towards black people, that because he has a quarter racial child. But the whole thing is, full black people like myself experience this racism every day, consciously and unconsciously, when we go out here every day. And we don't need to join him in the fight against racism. That shows how white supremacist he still truly is. So you're asking me to join you. No, you need to come and join us, because we've been fighting against white supremacy for over 400 years, Black America, and we know what white supremacy is, and we know that white supremacy is the foundation for all of the racism that's going on. And if you really want to have a fight, you have to fight against the white supremacist system. But again, your Prince Harry isn't going to want to fight against the white supremacist system, because fighting against the white supremacist system means going head up with his family, going head up with the institutions established by the royal family, and dealing with the first family of white supremacy. And that's where we're going to see your Prince Harry, as I see it, buckle under the pressure, because he's already out of the family as related to the royal duties, and he doesn't really want to go to war with his own family as related to this political topic, as I see it. So he's thinking that he's woke, but he's nowhere near as self-aware as he thinks he is, because again, talking about us joining him, no, we don't need to join him. He needs to go out here and do what people asked Donald Trump to do, denounce white supremacy. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And the reason why I did not do this video in a British accent is because this is a serious topic, and this is a topic that really needs to be addressed in a serious manner. And if you want to see, and if you want to pick up some of my positive SJS Direct books, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, and the John Haynes series, you can pick up those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation